Okay, Earth signs, we're here to drop in and see what energy is going to start coloring your reality over the next 72 hours. These are when certain themes are going to be introduced. But I do have a strong hit for all of us, regardless of our elemental sign, that these energies that are rolling out right now are really something that's just the initiation of the energy that will be playing out over the next 3 full moons, which is a full moon in Libra coming up on the 12th. And then the next one is in Scorpio. I think that one might also be sometime around there, the 12th or the 15th. It might be the 15th of May. And then we have, of course, to cap off this cycle, the Sagittarius full moon that will be coming up on the 11th of June. And so this is something that is starting to come in now, but it's going to be playing out over the next couple of months here. Okay, so do keep that in mind and just let yourself sort of go along for the ride. I do feel like you're getting some news coming in. This was just an initial download for you, Earth signs. Some news around your job or some occupation that you're wanting to get into here. You might be taking steps to head down a new track. You're getting some kind of news coming in, and that's causing you to take a new action in a new direction. Whether that news is favorable or problematic, I'm not quite sure just yet. All I know is that there's some important news coming in around your career. That was something that just wanted to introduce itself right off the bat. We'll get some more details here with the Kipper deck. Of course, this is for any Earth sign placements, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, as well as if you are a water rising sign. So Taurus descendant would be Scorpio. Virgo descendant would be Pisces, and Capricorn descendant would be Cancer. A lot that can come through for you in relation to your experiences with other people. So let's see what we got here to open up to your energy in the next 72 hours here. Oh, look at this. We got courthouse in reverse. Courthouse in reverse. Okay. This is interesting. So you might be getting yourself out of some kind of contractual agreement here. And this could even have something to do with your living space. It could have to do with your home, like a renter's agreement. Certainly, if you're getting some news about your occupation that requires you to move to a new area. I do feel like where you're hoping to get out of some contract, you're going to be successful in this. But whatever this is, and I think this is tying into that initial message that came through about getting some news about your job or your potential occupation, like something you're looking into doing. Maybe you're changing career tracks here. It might require you to get out of some kind of binding legal agreement here. So you have the freedom to move forward here. We just had a card come out here, kind of in a crossing position. What do we got here? Oh, family room. Okay. So yes, there might also be something that's involving the family here as well. I could see this as, we got adjudication there. Okay. So this could have something to do as well with dividing up some kind of assets that are connected to the family as well. In the event of needing to move for the sake of being able to provide in-home care to somebody who's ailing, this could be the necessity to make some changes in one's current career track. Maybe you have to leave your job, relocate, go and be with this loved one to offer them some kind of, I'm feeling like almost like hospice type support. In some cases, this may require that you get out of some kind of contractual agreement whether that's on the job or if that's in your current rental, if you are a renter. This could also indicate maybe inheriting some property, inheriting a home, and it requires that you move in order to be able to take advantage of that situation, or have extended leave from your job because you're sorting out matters that could potentially be related to some kind of inheritance or legal care in terms of somebody who is ailing in some way. I could see this if somebody is um, needing in-home hospice care or something like that. There might be a need to sort things through, or if somebody recently passed, there may be a need to be present. And there's something about this. I feel like it's, in many cases, it's like a geographical thing. And in other cases, it's merely a matter of needing to get out of an existing work contract in order to head in a new direction. Now, some of you may be involved in a family business, and if that's the case, this might be a little bit more complicated. Or if you were married and now you're splitting up, but you and your partner were in business together, there also might be something kind of tricky to navigate there. I do feel like there's word coming out around this. It will bring it to a successful completion with number 21 there. That is giving the vibes of the world. Okay, so yeah, this is the fixed sign energies that may be in play. Taurus, you're really going to be feeling this strongly, as well as Taurus descendants, Scorpio risings. This message also coming in around Leo and Aquarius, okay? So any of these characters could be playing a role in this situation. There's some negotiations involved in navigating this, also to get a solid agreement across the board. I'm getting there may be a family discussion around this. I do feel like if you're worried about that, if all the family is getting together and trying to sort through a difficult issue like this, if there's been a lot of complication, if there's been a lot of butting of heads and having difficulty getting on the same page, I do feel that it will be productive. Okay, there will be a successful conclusion reached here. Everybody will be in agreement, all right? And again, for some of you, this has a lot to do with your occupation here, all right? So some of you may have to go and provide the care. That I don't know why I keep getting that. It's coming in really strongly. 34 with the occupation there breaks down to 7. Cancerian energy. So yeah, this could be like going back home to the roots. So maybe helping to take care of a parent who's struggling with some issues here. And maybe you're going to provide this care rather than paying out for somebody outside the family to come in. And maybe you want this too. You really want to be there. You want to be present. You don't necessarily want to bring somebody else into the mix here. There is something about this, though, that is very much related to occupation. It could even be that somebody is needing to have some recovery time. I could see that as well. Like if you have to go and have an operation, or you deal with some major health challenge, you might need to take a leave from work. For some of you, this could be around pregnancy. You're about to have a new member in the family. You might be trying to like sort that out as well. How do we balance this out? I'm going to need some support, or a lot's going to be changing around here. So there could be discussions in relation to this. I feel like no matter what, the job is affected in some way, and it does bring up contractual agreements. And it seems like there's a need to be able to have room to move in a situation, and to perhaps have an extended period of time off, or to get out of the agreement altogether with relation to whatever this is. And with this, we have unexpected income. Unexpected income, Virgo, this could be coming in quite strongly for you with number 27 here. You also may be kind of surprised to discover that you're getting an opportunity in a different direction than your current occupation. And there might be a need to kind of discuss this with the family too. Maybe because there's certain things you'll need the family support on in relation to this. Okay. Or again, it could be some kind of unexpected income that's the result of an inheritance here, or providing some kind of hospice care where you'll be compensated. And it might even be compensated through the state, especially if you're somebody who already works in a medical profession. I'm getting that because we do have bad health here. I do feel like there is somebody that is dealing with a major health challenge, and it's affecting the sector of the career area and the finances, but it looks like something that is desired, something that needs to happen, whether this is a move in order to sort out affairs or to be there to provide hospice care from somebody who's ailing, or if you're recovering from some kind of surgery or personal injury case, something like this, where you're looking for something to come through and where you're concerned about how it's going to affect your financial stability. I see that this is going to be worked out. There will be a successful conclusion reached here. And you might also be getting a lot of support from your family in relation to this, or your chosen family. These could just be your loved ones, friends that are very close to you that are also there, that are kind of like, you know, giving you a little something to lean on at this time as well. I also feel there is some kind of unexpected uptick in finances. And in some cases, it could be related to sorting out the assets after someone has passed away. That is a possibility in this situation. This could relate to a matter of inheritance. And I do pick up a strong indication there could be a house piece here. Okay, so there does seem like there's something about either somebody's needing living care, or they're needing to change their location of where they're living, either to support somebody who's struggling with ill health, or you might work in a health profession and there's an opportunity for you, a really good opportunity that maybe brings you an up level in your income, but it requires you to move to a totally different locale. And that requires you to get out of a current contractual agreement somehow, right? It's like totally about finances, stability, health. It feels very South Node Virgo kind of energy, whatever this is. I mean, I feel like however this is playing out, somebody ends up being in the position of a privileged lady here. Okay? So this could be somebody's fortunes radically transforming as a result to a shift in direction and something that comes through in the family, perhaps like legacy energy or some kind of inheritance coming through here, or inheriting property, or doing some kind of work that puts one in a much better position than they were before, allows them to leave the old job, but there might be some legal matters to tend to as a result. And some of you may be having this shift in your career come about through an injury. It's like you've been getting the signs that you're not working at the right place, or maybe you want to do something totally different in terms of your occupation. But you've been just kind of writing it out because it's been providing you a certain level of security. You want to make sure you can provide for your family. But I feel like you might kind of be forced out of that position too. Some of you might be dealing with some kind of health challenge or some kind of injury, personal injury case, something potentially that requires you to have some kind of surgery. You're going to have downtime. And you may find that it's actually like a segue into a completely new career path for you, because during that time, you're going to find that you got the income you need. There's some kind of financial support coming in here that ensures that you're taken care of as you're moving through this a difficult transition. I can see it's a bit challenging. It also might be a bit stressful just mentally. You might have a lot of worries about this as well, and how you're going to provide for yourself, for your family, all right, for your future. But I do feel like what happens along the way is you get some news in relation to an opportunity, a career opportunity that actually levels you up. Okay? That privileged lady here. So it could even be you're receiving this offer from a privileged lady. Maybe you're getting some kind of assistance you weren't expecting as well. This could come through in the form of a gift that does not need to be repaid. Interesting. If you feel guilty about taking that, if you got any kind of like hangups about that, I am picking up something about like tithing and almost like this is something that's karmically due to you. So accept this gift with grace. Don't refrain from accepting this gift because it is something that is karmically balanced for you. That's what I got. May not be connected to this situation at all, not in the least, but nevertheless, it's balancing something out. The universe doesn't have grudges. You know what I mean? The universe balances things out in a different sort of way. It's just a balancing of energies between give and take. And so I feel like at one point, something may have been unfairly taken from you, and now it's justly being returned, but perhaps in a very different way and not from the source you thought it would come from. Okay, there's one more final round here, and I'm going to do a cover deck. Just getting into our little Earth sign collective energy here to open. Okay, mature man on the bottom of the deck. This mature man's been coming out. There could be a mature man involved in this situation. And I do believe today is the 5th. So there might be something highlighted for you around this today. You could be dealing with a life path 5. Again, that 5 energy, it's making me think of the Hierophant. So I do feel this is something coming in very strongly for Taurus and Scorpio risings here. Okay. There's something that's changing here. It's transforming your situation. It feels like it's an unexpected elevation, maybe even during a time when you felt like your occupation was kind of flagging too. I could see that maybe you felt like, you weren't seeing the growth you wanted to see in your occupation. And that's sort of the way the bad health is being expressed in your situation. This could have been causing you a lot of stress. It could have been affecting your health, just with a lot of worry, a lot of concern. There also could be, with the bad health, that is coming in with 31, which breaks down to 4. So yeah, there could be an emperor that you're concerned about. There could be a father figure that you're worried about. There could be somebody who, is what you consider like your partner, like my life partner, this person, we're in it together. We got each other's backs here. And I can see that even in the form of like a real solid friendship where it's more like family too. So this is a close connection or somebody who holds a really important position in your life that's dealing with challenges. And for others, it's strictly in relation to your occupation. It could be where you're working. Something is it's not sustainable. The company can't keep their doors open anymore. There's layoffs. But it's interesting. There's something coming through that's like really rectifying this issue. And you may feel like you're kind of hung up right now and you're trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? Something needs to shift here. What am I going to do? You might be feeling like you're a bit in that hanged man position. And you might also have suspicions, like you might be wondering if, you're dealing with such complicating circumstances because of somebody who maybe isn't playing fair in your situation as well. There's a little hint of that. Or just feeling like you don't understand why things are not developing the way they should. It feels like financially, and also just in really getting the family together, getting the family feeling cohesive again. And certainly that family could be like really close friends, you know. But I feel like you're not really hung up here. Something's coming in to rectify this situation. And it may be through a change brought about by a mature man here. If there is a mature man here whose health has been flagging, they might be having a big turnaround, actually. Okay. They might be having a turnaround, but they might need some extra support for a little bit. And this might be where some unexpected income is coming from too. Okay. Interesting. Let's see what we got here on the split. Expectation. Okay. Do expect to hear news about this. Also, for some of you, this could be about maternity leave as well. I could see this especially in the case if it's been a complicated pregnancy, or for some reason you need to have a little bit more extended leave, or there was something difficult in the delivery process as well, where you need more recovery time here. I feel like something is really working out here. And it does feel like whatever this is, it's about coming together as a family too. So I think this is a good indication that there's a lot of support here for you. And there's some positive turn of fortune here, coming in with the number 28. I do feel like where there's been concern about things like really heading south, or where it looked like somebody was really taking a downturn in terms of their health, or you thought that your finances were really suffering because of these situations, and something was going to be difficult to resolve here. I see a positive outcome, some turn of fortune in your favor here. Other side, and it's in relation to a house. Okay. I feel this really strongly, judgment here with the number 20. Okay. So we do have actually quite a bit of Sagittarian energy here on the board. We also have Pisces. Okay, so Pisces rising, this could be coming in very strong for you. Taurus, your energy is pretty front and center here. We have some Aries on the board, Cancerian energy. And yeah, that's what I got. You know, more Sagittarian energy here in relation to this house. Okay. So there's something that's being called judgment on in relation to a house, a living situation. There's some positive turn of fortune here. Something is moving forward. And I do feel like where you expected perhaps maybe the worst possible outcome, it's actually turning out very well and putting you in a good position. So this is good energy. There's some challenges around it. Okay, let's dive a little bit deeper into it. Let's get some more details here. Okay, I'm going to pull out a little angels and imps energy. Check it out. Four of Swords. Yes, so I do feel like you're kind of in this space. This is where you've been. You've sort of been at the ready. For those of you who've been dealing with a loved one who's been going through some kind of health challenge, you may have just been like waiting to receive the call. Like you're ready to like get moving, you know, and get there by their side as fast as is needed. I can feel that kind of energy, like this expectation, like I know I'm going to have to move forward with this really soon here. And I feel like this is in relation to also any kind of challenging family dynamic situation that you're trying to iron out here. Any of the aforementioned that we already addressed, you're like ready for action. It's almost like you're prepared for this. Like you sense that this change in the wind is coming here, and you're going to have to take action soon. You may also feel like in your situation, you're dealing with a lot of people who really just, you know, they don't do well in these kind of situations. It's like all sense goes out the window. And I feel like you're very much in this position where you're able to stay very focused and organized, and you can really cut through a lot of that and just help get everybody on the same page here. And I think you've often played this role, and this is kind of the role that you're going to play in this situation. And you know, you're going to deal with some difficult people, but I do feel like your logic about how a certain situation should be handled will win out here. And you'll find rest in that. Like everybody will come to a place of agreement in relation to this. All right. And I do see where you are needing extended rest because of something related to pregnancy or actually needing a little bit more time for maternal leave, or whether you're tending to somebody that you love that's ailing and you're providing some kind of hospice care, or they're helping you recover from a surgery, something like this. Or it's about needing to go and sort out an estate after somebody has passed on. I feel like where you need the time, you're going to get it. And I also feel like where you're worried about how your occupation is going to be affected, or if you're going to have an improvement in your occupation, or if there is going to be something that comes through to facilitate all this and make it possible monetarily, you should expect to get news in the affirmative. It's actually something that's more than it appears on the surface. I believe it's leading you to a totally new track. Like there's something fundamental that shifts here that changes the scope of your occupation and your career. And I got big vibes about moving here too, moving to a new location. But it seems like what's really been worrying you about this is like certain contractual agreements or areas where you feel like you're sort of tied up in red tape, and so it doesn't make it possible for you to move forward. In the case of like personal injury cases where you were feeling like you weren't getting any of the negotiations to go through, I don't feel like it'll have to actually go to court. I do feel like there will be a settlement, and the settlement will be to your liking. This is what I'm getting here, okay? And a lot came out with that. Oh, and that wants to come out in a sort of cross position. So I'm going to take it. What do we got here? The Chariot. See, there's big Chariot energy here. Cancerian energy coming through very strongly here. So there's definitely going to be a need to be ready to move here. I see that right now. It's just sort of like this space to sort of like get your bearings and get prepared for this big change, I feel. And this may be something that happens within a month's time, but I do see that you have protection for moving forward here, and you will move forward. All right. And though you may feel like there's certain difficult elements to what you're going to have to resolve here, I feel like it's in relation to family, you know, other people who are moving through this experience with you and have different objectives and different ideas about the way a certain situation, shared situation, needs to be handled. And certainly this could be anybody that's even like your chosen family. This is like your soul family here, okay? There's something you're resolving here, or people you live with here. There is a need for you to be very perseverant here. All right. It's going to take some time to iron this out, but there's going to be success. Where you've had conflict, you'll be able to get everybody on the same page here. There will be agreement, and you'll be able to overcome any adversity that's preventing things from moving forward. So do try to have a more optimistic view around this. And this certainly could be some kind of dispute around the home, or something around the mother, right? Or a parental figure here, their care or their involvement in a situation. Could even be a baby's mama. Okay, that's possible too. Okay, and with that, we got Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, and Nine of Swords. So I see what the issue is in this situation is that there's sort of like, there's knowledge that there's some kind of wealth or assets that are to be gained here. And that gives me the vibes of some kind of contractual agreement, or like I was saying, an inheritance, or where something needs to be divvied up according to legal stipulations, something that's already been outlined, or contractual agreements it's made between you and the company you work for. There is some opportunity coming in here, and it's an Ace of Pentacles, so this will come in the spring season, okay? It's wanting to dim out on this side. So I do feel like there's some elements in this situation where there's some hidden clauses perhaps that you need to be aware of, because there's a little bit of tricky elements involved in taking this opportunity, this offer, or in getting this to work out in your favor in terms of something that is being bequeathed to you. That's how it's coming through, okay? It could even be like a gift that's being given, a gift that never needs to be paid back. I can see that, okay? It's something that puts you in a much more powerful position, and it makes you in a much better position financially very quickly. This is something that's unexpected, right? But I feel like when you get news about this, it also sort of has you on your guard and makes you feel a little worried about how that's going to roll out, because I think there's an understanding that there's going to be some opposition in relation to this from other family members, from friends in some way, or the people you work with currently, okay? You know there's something difficult to navigate here. There might even be like a little bad blood there too that makes it a little bit more difficult. Like there could be a little grudge energy operating in the situation, that when this comes through for you, it kind of has somebody have like a target on your back. You know what I mean? It's like people will sort of like be gunning for you in a certain respect here, because they see that you're being elevated here. But I also feel like there is a way to balance this out. And it doesn't have to be an either or kind of situation. And that's all involved in somebody coming forward here who can sort through this in a very logical manner. And I do feel like you're kind of taking this role here. You and another, I feel like there's one key person here where you're really like, y'all are button heads. And I do see ultimately you all will figure out how to resolve what's ailing the connection, what's keeping you from being able to come to a place of agreement here. And with that, on this side, we have the Seven of Swords, okay, to Temperance, to the Chariot, to the Two of Swords, okay? So yeah, things have been blocked from moving forward because everybody's kind of very much in a defensive position here. Not only defensive position, but they're also willing to fight, you know, for what they feel is right from their standpoint. And every person involved in the situation feels like they have the ammunition they need, you know, to get the way that they feel things should roll out, set in place, set in motion, simply because of certain receipts they have, or certain higher perspective they feel they possess according to themselves. But it's sort of like this situation where that's what's creating the blockage, because rather than everybody sort of putting their heads together in this situation and really being open to listen to other perspectives, other ways of approaching a shared challenge, okay? A shared challenge that also brings with it, it looks like some kind of blessing, because it does look like there is something to be gained here, okay? And there's also something to preserve here. There's something to preserve here as well, like agreements, what was agreed upon. And there may need to be a little balance there. And that's where we get into that contractual area. And certainly it could fall in the realm of soul contracts too. There could be a little dispute going on that level, especially in terms of soul family, where you have deep emotional connections with people, but you know, you're not tied to each other by blood or legalities necessarily, okay? Especially when it comes to certain big decisions in life, all right? But I do feel like this is in place. This is in place. There's been a lot of blockage here. Somebody who has felt blocked may also be sending in other people to kind of talk to you, to try to get through to you. That actually might be an action that sort of shoots them in the foot, because once you get talking to these people, then they're going to get a full scope of the picture. From the current vantage point, they've only seen it from this one person's eyes, and they're not necessarily getting an accurate portrayal of your stance in the situation. So maybe there's been some kind of glitch in communication here. There's definitely been somebody in this situation, though, who has been mucking things up as far as getting things moving forward smoothly, because, to put it quite bluntly, there's sower of discord. And in some cases, I mean, this says slayer of men, all right? So in some cases, this mature man could be the focal point of this person's, nasty intentions, okay? They don't want this man to have this movement forward, right? Because it seems like this opportunity or what's coming in here is connected to a mature man. Okay, somebody is trying to create things for moving forward there. And that comes in with temperance to the 7 of Swords here. So yeah, it does look like there's like some kind of reconciliation that is desired here with temperance. Somebody knows that, there's been offense in this situation. Like something went down. It's not right. It needs to be balanced out. Somebody really wants to balance this out. They've had an opportunity, to look at a situation from all sides. They feel like they found the balance. They recognize in some ways that they kind of got used as a pawn in somebody's game here. And where they couldn't see, sort of like, I don't think that they couldn't see. I think they compromised with what's right, what's wrong. You know what I mean? It's sort of like their position they were in at that time blurred the lines between the two. And they felt almost like a self-righteous, like sort of anger about that. But they're starting to see something different, where it's almost like this person is like, okay, I can concede here. Like, I get what you're saying. And I get what you're saying, though, because there was an experience for this person where the shoe got put on the other foot. They're like, oh, it ain't so easy to fill those shoes, okay? This could be coming in around a Sagittarius. And it could be something as well that you feel like, I don't know, can I trust this? You may wonder if this is a trustworthy person. They're maybe trying to make things right here, but you feel like times in the past they were just like a little sneaky, or they did things that made you feel played, or you just didn't feel like things were handled right. But it looks like they get that, and there's some desire here to try to balance something out. Crossing energy, 10 of Wands. Yeah, I think you may have not been able to have communication with this person. There may have been like a shutdown in relation to this. You might have this person blocked. It's possible too. You might have blocked this person. It's like the connection became a burden to you in some way. Maybe because of everything that was attached to it. You just got tired of everything being a family affair. You got tired of everything being a community affair. There's just too many people involved in a situation. Maybe a privileged lady, maybe a baby's mama, maybe somebody they work with, and then their family is all up in everything. And yeah, it maybe just made it impossible to move something forward too, or you were in the dark about certain things. But I do feel like there's been some kind of like blockage here or something. This person's like trying to reach out to you through Jedi mind tricks. They're trying to connect with you on the ether. Right? They're trying to like pull on your energy. So you might find yourself kind of like thinking about this person. They're coming up for you a little bit. All right. I mean, again, it looks like there is a way to balance things out in a situation, but there was also that piece about moving forward in a way maybe you weren't expecting, okay? So I'd say like be a little bit open-minded about the way things can shake out here. Let's do a cut of the deck and see what we got. Ace of Pentacles. So I do see like this blessing, whatever this is, It's something that up levels you on a material level. It gives you some financial stability. It helps you move into a new direction. I mean, this is a tangible start here. And it is something that is karmically sort of earmarked for you. I got tithing energy around it, okay? It's checks and balances, and it's a divine blessing. But I do feel like there's been perhaps a lot of greed or a lot of envy or a lot of jockeying for this opportunity. Okay, if you're getting some really amazing, life-changing job opportunity, okay, that could have had a lot of people competing for it, or maybe you just run with a really sort of like competitive, like petty group of people. I don't know. You might want to, start to have a look at that if people have a problem with seeing you have a moment of success in your life when something is really going good for you and you have something to feel proud of, pay attention to who isn't congratulating you. I mean, that is something to be aware of here, because there is indication that, you got some evil spirits around this, and I feel like those evil spirits, when I think of that energy, to me, the evil spirits like greed and envy and hatred, this kind of energy, that all is stemmed from self-generation. It's not using our creative power in a wise way. It's not wielding our creative power wisely. So instead, we're fixated on another's path, or we're fixated on what somebody else has. And that focus, that kind of focus coming from an unconscious place, it becomes a thing. Thoughts are things, and they carry the weight of responsibility. And so what ends up happening, I really firmly believe this, like it becomes an entity in and of itself. And if you're focused on a particular person in that way, then what ends up happening is, if that person is not good with boundaries, and if they form energetic agreement with that projection, they take it on, it can be attached to them. So there's also something here about something has become a little bit enmeshed energetically, just on a quantum level here. This is like entanglement, okay? Quantum entanglement in a way that can be very destructive. But there's protection here. And whatever influence was creating that, there's this like driving away of the energy, so it can actually like clear the road. And there can be an avenue for that chariot to come through. There can be a moving forward. And whatever seeds you've been planting here, whatever you want to grow, when you take this opportunity, your vision for it, where you would like to see it go, how you would like to see it grow, I do feel like this is something that will produce positive results for you. All right. It's good energy. Let me see what's on the other side here. 8 of Cups. But do you see? In order for it to be possible, something has to be released. Something has to be cleansed from the life. Something has to be turned away from. Even though you may have already invested a lot of energy in a particular direction, there has to be an acknowledgement that, okay, I know I've spent a lot of time invested in this. I know that I'm really attached to this particular place where I'm living, or I'm really attached to this particular person, or I'm really attached to this particular job, or I've just sort of gotten set in my ways. But I know that in order to move into this, I have to get out of this and I have to let it go. Even though it might make me initially feel like I'm challenging my security a little bit. It's going to be a little bumpy at first. I'm not going to lie to you. There's going to be some adversity that you're going to encounter here. But there will be support in adversity. There will be things that balance it out. Okay? There will be things that balance it out. And you will be okay, even when it does get a little disruptive here. But this transformation is underway. Okay? it is time. It is time. Let me do one final round here just to see any other details I get. Yeah, discover, learn, and play. Okay. And I do almost have an image of you like sitting with a group, and you're talking things out here. You're not expected to take charge of this all on your own. And perhaps that's something that needs to be cleansed away, is this feeling of, I got to handle it. I got to take care of it. Or only I know the right way to handle this. There's something here where no, I mean, I see it. It looks like it's more of a family room type of situation. So I do feel like this is a situation where like a group of people are getting together and communicating and putting their heads together and sorting through something. And yeah, there's challenges with it for sure. Is there some lower vibe sort of mentality connected to some of these people? Yeah. Yep. Have they created problems in your life before? Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, they have. All right. But there's something here that does need to be resolved. It's a family matter, I feel, or soul family matter, and it needs to be resolved, and this one to get left behind. I mean, we got King of Diamonds here. Okay, I mean, that's your energy. All right. That's your energy. So I see that almost like kind of coming through as like feeling like, well, no, I got to handle all of this because only I know the right way to handle this to keep everything really stable and everything nailed down. And this is the way it needs to be. But it's like trying to take too much control in a particular situation. It may even be well-meaning, okay? It may be that you feel like you need to take that position because if you don't do it, who else will? And you may not recognize that that actually is like causing sort of like this backlash that you're experiencing here. This is something that is only going to be achieved cooperatively, okay? It can't be demanding. It can't be forceful. It can't all be your way in this situation. There does need to be give and take. So there's definitely something that's being negotiated here. And there's definitely this quality coming in about sharing as well. So whatever is being negotiated here, it's a shared situation. Whatever is being negotiated here, it involves mutual assets, and that's why there's something that it can't all be your way. And there may even be something here where in order for you to get something you want in this situation, with you having to switch up, the terms of a contract, it does require you to not be so intractable. You're gonna have to give a little bit, all right? But I do feel like there is a way through. There absolutely is, okay? You will find your way through it. The road will open here, despite how worried you may be about this. When you get the news and you know that you have to kind of have this face-off situation, right? I see it. I do feel like there's somebody in this situation who really wants to be in control. They want to be in charge, okay? And they're being a little bit overbearing, or they're trying to take too much responsibility, but that's coming from a place of imbalance. It's coming from more dynamics of just like thinking that, well, this is how I make myself valuable in a situation. This is how I gain approval in a situation. This is how I find my way in that room. I just say yes to everything. I take on everything. I don't have good boundaries, and I give and give and give and give to the situation. But what's not really being understood is that when somebody does that and they give and they give and give and give and they want to be so helpful and be involved in everything, it can be low key, a really subtle way of trying to have all the control in a situation. And that's sort of like a blind spot, I feel, that's not being recognized, that's preventing forward motion here. Okay. And there could be somebody in this situation that is ready to completely just like put an end to that. It's like a little bit of an oppositional energy to this. Like, no, We're not moving forward like this. And it's coming through so shadowy, like so strong. Like, no, 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 no. We're not doing things like that anymore. Absolutely not. It's not going to go like that. Nope, nope, nope. Okay? No. It's being cut off cold. Like, no, not one person is going to have all the control in this situation. And it can't all be your way. We have to balance it out in a way that feels fair. But yet, it works out. It works out very well in the end. There just needs to be a little bit more flexibility here, okay? And we got to like warm things up a little bit, okay, with the Jack of Clubs in order for there to even be receptivity. So you're dealing with a group dynamic here, and there's a lot of different opinions about the right way to handle something. There's butting of heads here. There's, let's just call them spirited discussion that sometimes can get a little much, okay? There's negotiations here. They have a tendency to go really out of balance. When people feel like I'm not getting my share, or you're not listening to me, you're not thinking about what I want, that's not fair. And then, everybody goes off into their own corners. There's like this total freeze out energy. I'm not talking to you, It's interesting to see this is what's happening right now. Yeah, it's been like that. But look at this, 10 of hearts to 10 of hearts. There's a way to turn this around. There is. There is a way to turn it around. And you may be anticipating when you're going to go and get this news that, okay, we're all going to get together and we're going to work this out. You may be anticipating, oh, here we go again. Here come the fights. Here comes the conflict. Here comes the drama. Here it comes. And it's sort of like you're prepared for that. But then you enter into the situation and you actually discover that it's actually good news. It's good news that things kind of got pushed to this point where it made you all kind of come together and sort something out. So you could really understand what you're truly valuing here, all right? And that could even be in like a career negotiation, where you really recognize that, it's so important to me to have this change in my direction that I'm willing to sort of go into the lion's den. I'm willing to go in there, and I'm willing to sort of face off and take a stand for myself and make it clear that I've made this choice and I'm going to head toward this because this is what I want to do, what feels right to me. And you actually discover that there's a lot more support there than you thought there would be, or there's a lot more agreement, or you finally see another person's perspective in the situation. And whatever happens here, it's not as combative as you think it's going to be. There is a way to work it out. Do you see? And then the energy shifts. I love how that kind of came out. You see? Then your energy shifts from this real like sort of excessive masculine response of, no, I got to take care of everything, and really moving into that action where you're seizing control of the situation and all of that, to moving more into a place of the feminine receptivity here, okay? And this could be negotiating things with a partner too, okay? Somebody you're married to, all right? Somebody you're married to, you can't get on the same page about finances, or this could be somebody you used to be married to, right? Or it could be, you get along really well with one of your parents, you have challenges with the other, but there's sort of like, there's a way through this. I feel it, okay? You're going to be more receptive. And love is going to be what saves the day here with the Ace of Hearts, okay? And that, I don't think you're, prepared for that right now with the Queen of Hearts in the shadow. Okay, so all you water rising signs coming through very strong for this. A Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, It's like you're already like sort of anticipating how this is going to roll out. And it's actually not going to be that at all. You'll be surprised how it gets ironed out here. Let me do a cut of the deck. What we got here? I mean, we got a king of clubs, okay, in the shadow. I don't think you're the only one that feels that way. I mean, it looks like we got a lot of energies here that are coming in the shadow. I mean, we got the spades coming in with the jack of spades in the shadow, the king of diamonds in the shadow. We got the king of clubs in the shadow. Okay, so we got air, fire, earth, all in the shadow here. And we even had that element of the water in the shadow. So it's like all the elementals are here. And there's something here that really does need to be transformed. And it requires communication, okay, with the 7 of clubs. But right now, it's sort of blocked because there's not even a reason to sort of open it up. That's what I feel. There's not a reason to open it up so a new foundation can be laid and things can move forward. But it will open up. Isn't that funny? Queen of clubs comes to back behind the king of clubs. So it's like the real masculine, assertive, seizing control, self-oriented. Like, that's what's being tempered here. It's like people are coming more into their feels. That's what's going to happen here. And they're going to soften around it, okay? It's going to lay down a new foundation to grow upon here. But I think what y'all are dealing with here is some difficult 8th house energy. Scorpio's territory there, right? This has to do with endings and new beginnings, and how do we traverse that? How do we make it work and still keep the family together here despite these changes? This could be because of an inheritance. This could be because somebody's sick, somebody's passed. This could be, because of a marriage or a real long-standing relationship splitting up because there was some kind of clandestine action going on. But what I find very interesting about the whole thing is that tied within this, we have your career path is shifting and you're moving. And so to me, this gives me the vibe of really transitioning out of one phase of life into a completely new track in your life that's going to change a lot of things foundationally. Ted says yes to that. And there's this piece here about the jack of diamonds, okay? Earth sign energy again in the shadow. Just feeling like everything is going so slow. But you're just about to have a breakthrough that's going to bring this on. And then when that happens, you're going to be glad. You're going to be glad. In retrospect, you're going to realize you should have been glad for the period of slowdown because things are about to really get moving here. And I do feel like it's going to be demanding. And it looks like this is something that has to do with a big change in your material reality as far as where you're living, who you're living with, what kind of work you're doing, what part of the world you're living in, like all of that. I feel like it all comes into play in this situation. Who gets what? How do we keep everybody at least, harmonious in this situation? Family may be pulled into this, all right? This is what's going on, man. This is what's going on, but it's positive. And you're having maybe more of a grim sort of view of what's ahead, and it's not accurate, and you'll discover that. So let's see here. I do want to get a read for each of the individual earth signs here. I think I want to pull out this herbal astrology oracle for you guys. That's what's really calling me, just as a baseline energy. Yeah, breakthrough. Okay, there is something that's about to happen here. There's some message coming in, and it's the beginning of the closing of one karmic cycle, so there can be the opening of a new road. And this is a transformation point. There's a lot of alchemy at work here. It's coming in with number 39, and that breaks down to 12. So see, there's something here that you haven't seen before, but you're going to see it in a new way. And it comes through this communication collective. Got Mars energy here coming in with Uranus energy. So this wants to like dim here, okay? Wants to dim. You can't see this yet. It's not here yet, all right? 59, 59 on the clock, 14, 14. You're not at this balancing point yet, but you very well could have this come in with the Libra full moon. That's when there's going to be the lights on in the room. What you couldn't see at the start of Aries season with the Aries new moon solar eclipse, you will see it. What you couldn't see back when Libra hosted the Ring of Fire solar eclipse with their new moon back on October 2nd, 2024. You're going to see the truth that rises up out of that, okay? It's a bit of a magic moment. It is a bit of alchemy. It is something that will be a breakthrough for you. But anytime there's a breakthrough, at first it can feel a little disruptive here, okay? It is something that comes in very unexpected. And the way this turns out is unexpected. You're not going to be able to like call the shots on this. You will see. You're going to have to get in the game and get a place at the table, and you're going to have to work this out creatively with others that are involved in this situation. That's what I see. And with Gingo coming in here, there's something about memory that's playing into this. A lost memory perhaps is retrieved. A lost memory is retrieved, and this is the game changer here. Oh, interesting. And right behind that, we have blessing. And yes, comes in with that full moon in Libra with Sage here. Number 6. It frees you from the crossroads and makes the choice very clear. There could be a Gemini connected to this situation, Pisces connected to this. Okay. Pisces rising, that could be speaking very strongly to you. All right, we're going to open up here with Taurus. All right, Taurus, let's see how this is going to be influencing you, this energy coming in here that's introducing itself over the next 72 hours, but will definitely be playing out over the next 3 full moons that will be leading us up to the Sagittarian full moon on June 11th. So do look for this energy to be coloring the springtime here, leading up to big shifts that happen in this summer as far as moving forward on a new road, okay? I do feel like the view up ahead will be very different by then for you. There's something you're seeing differently. Okay, bottom of the deck, motherwort, strength. Okay, so I think there could be a Leo in connection to this for you. Also, we have rose quartz in the background there. So this is a message to be really gentle with your heart right now, because you may be encountering stuff that is related to your past that brings up some anxiety for you, or might make you feel prone to sort of protect yourself, pull up the drawbridge, and you're actually being encouraged to allow yourself just to be more gentle with your heart. Maybe give yourself a little extra TLC at this time. Just be really gentle and tender with your heart, and spend time with people that make you feel like it's really safe for you to be in that space where you can just be really open and allow your emotions to flow and be who you are, and know that you have that love and support. There may be a Leo in particular that really knows how to support you in the right way. Also, I do feel like there could be a mother factoring into this situation, or pregnancy could be involved. And this could be just a really emotional time. It's also a time of brand new beginnings in your life. But there's sort of like a little bit of a bittersweetness there as well that does require you to have some strength, because while you are prepared to birth a new life, and there is sort of like this generational piece there, because we see maiden, mother, crone, all sort of dancing in that cycle of life together. And again, it does bring up the essence of that journey through that Plutonian territory that is the 8th house. There is something here where there is the need to hold just a lot of gentleness around what is coming to an end. Because at one point, what's coming to an end was your new beginning, right? And it was that thing that you were so ready to put your heart into, and you were so ready to see it grow and become all it wanted to be. And now there's a new vision that's being born. There's something that's awakening in your heart. It's also softening your heart. So where you have felt really guarded, you might be like, all right, maybe I am willing to like let the drawbridge down. Maybe I'm going to let you in for a little bit here. Okay. So I do see there's a softening occurring here. Some of you may be starting a family. Okay. There could be a baby on the way. This is also like really letting love in as well. For some of you, it may have been a long time since you really let love in to your heart. This could be that you're connecting with somebody from your past, and there's a lot of history there, and not all of it is pretty. And because of that, there's sort of this need to like maybe have a different perception of this person, because a lot of time has passed. There's been a lot of water under that drawbridge. And so perhaps there could be a different experience than there was back there. We got Venusian energy coloring this. So also with the number 13, big Scorpio energy, Taurus, your energy very strong. It could also be a Libra in the mix of this situation. But I do see that the new birth will be secured here. Like there is a new beginning here. And some of you with the occupation piece that came in, you may be getting into some kind of healing work. You might be getting into doing some kind of like womb healing work. You might be getting into doing some kind of group retreat work with women specifically, maybe even in supporting them through the different stages, phases of their life. And you're bringing in more of a kind of like spiritual focus to your work, or therapeutic focus to your work. Some of you are becoming doulas. Some of you want to be midwives. You want to help bring life into the world. And some of you want to be death doulas. You want to bring about a sense of sacredness around the transition to whatever lies beyond once we shed this corporeal shell. So I feel like this is the time where you're also experiencing the beauty in all the stages as well, even the endings. And I do feel like there is some strength that you're gaining here over something that maybe in the past you wouldn't have had the strength to face or to be open to. Really beautiful energy there. Yeah, this is definitely your breakthrough moment, okay? There is some truth that you're arriving at here. It could even be the communication of love, you know? Communication of love that has been held inside for too long, you know? Yeah, wow. And with that, we have Dragon Sasha crossing energy with the tower here. See, there's some tower that is being transformed. It's coming in with big Scorpio energy. We have both Pluto and Mars here, Aries energy as well. We currently have Pluto in Aquarius, so Aquarius could be playing a role in this too. But there is something that is going to be released here. It will be released in this year. It is the year of the snake, and snake is on the scene saying it is time to shed old skins. It is time to let the scales fall from your eyes. It is time to see the truth of what you've been defending or the truth of what you've been trying to hold together, and recognize that it's already on the pyre. It's like needing to let something go that must be leveled and reduced to ash so it can be transformed. And for some of you, this is around those evil spirits. If you have felt like there was spiritual work done in your situation, and I will always speak to that here, because there are a lot of people out there that do spiritual work. And not everybody who's out there doing spiritual work does it from a conscious place. They can do it from a very how do I want to put this? From an almost like just pure like animal body, type of place where it's just very focused on getting immediate needs met, or taking action in a certain direction to feel like there's control in a situation where they feel like they don't have control. So that's a lot of times when the power of spiritual work can be used in a way that it's not truly alchemical, because it's not refining anything. It's not creating a transformation. Instead, it's creating more of a fixed state or a more cross state, or something that blocks rather than promotes growth in a situation. So I do feel like there might be something here where it would be wise to do spiritual cleansing in your situation, especially with Virgo and Sacha coming through, because Virgo and Sacha is specifically related to that kind of hex energy, just that sort of inhibiting energy that's coming from some type of misalignment with power, all right? And it's really important to cleanse at this time, I feel. To cleanse will perhaps unmesh your energy from another's as well, where you can get an accurate view of this situation. You might not really realize how muddied the perspective has become, because you're taking on outside energy that's actually not yours. And so it's not giving you the clarity of vision that you need in a particular matter. But once you see clearly, as a result of sort of like getting back in your own essence, doing some spiritual cleansing here, you're going to recognize that you really should let a particular tower fall, because for you, it's the way through. It's the way through to harmony. It gets you to the other side of a really tricky situation. And with that goose energy coming in there, this could be coming in really strongly for you, Capricorn. It is your energy number 15. So I feel like this is all about self-mastery. And it's interesting that I brought Capricorn in. So there could be a Capricorn connected to your situation, Taurus. There could be a Capricorn. There could be a Libra too, connected to your situation there. There's a need to cool the fires a bit, right? I think of fire, I think like pressurized fire. And it's like meeting with the water here. But you don't want to totally put out the fire in a situation. Steam, fire and water merged together, they can also create like a pressurized situation. If you think of like a pressure cooker. So I do feel like there's something here that's been in the pressure cooker for too long. And it does need to come to a place of balance so there can be harmony. Otherwise, there's no nurturing. There's no nurturing here. There's no nurturing of new growth here, right? That was very interesting, though, the way Capricorn really like slid into your read. So this could be the energy that's kind of tied into you, connected to you. It could be coming from sort of like a tricky sort of character too, with the devil, right? It could be something that needs to be karmically balanced out here. It's your energy with the Venus energy. It's also Taurus energy. And then we have Scorpio, and we have Aries here too, okay? So any of these characters could be factoring into this situation, but I do feel like there is a need to transform this situation, but I definitely recommend some spiritual cleansing. And there is something coming through here too. Again, with Yarrow. Yarrow's really good for warding. It's really good for protecting, but there's also something coming in about memory. There's something here, it's locked away in your memory and you need to retrieve it because it makes everything very clear in your situation. It makes clear what you currently can't see. To me, this almost gives the vibe of like something being lit up from beneath, because I think of that devil card in the tarot, and he's got the goat hoof mudra he's holding up, and he's shining a torch down below. And sort of like he's saying, make the unconscious conscious so it doesn't rule over you. You're meant to activate your place of wisdom. Let the wisdom in you rise, just like the snake does, the Kundalini life force energy does, bringing with it illumination, understanding that blows the mind and brings in a new perspective here, okay? There's something really strongly coming through for you about needing to totally get a different view here and to stop defending a certain position, but it's not something that you're going to be able to see until you retrieve a particular memory. Something from the subconscious needs to be made conscious. It needs to be brought up into the light of your awareness. And I feel like that is what's going to happen. And when this memory resurfaces for you, it shifts something here. And it actually brings harmony to what used to be a very like sort of tricky kind of energy. Something that had you sort of chasing your own tail here. A little smoke and mirrors action. So there's some kind of lost memory here that's being recovered. I think that's where the breakthrough is coming for you. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Cut of the deck here. Cap it off for you, Taurus. And whatever this is, it aligns you with your purpose. And also somebody where you have sun-moon synergy. So maybe your sun sign is their moon sign, or your moon sign is their sun sign. Okay. There could be a Virgo connected to this as well. Whoever this is, they're aligned with your North Node. It's something that's been hidden from you, but it is going to come into view. Right? There will be a new beginning in this situation, and there will be future growth, and it will be strong, and it will endure, okay? And it will be the thing that moves you forward and opens up a brand new journey. I think ashwagandha, I think strong like horse. It makes me think of Rido. It makes me think of the journey that's about to unfold and moving forward with a sense of purpose here. But it looks like with another, and there's definitely something that is being activated here energetically for you. I feel like there's almost like old energy you need to get out of your sort of auric field here. Maybe that's the result of some kind of spiritual work or just energy that became too enmeshed, took too much on here. Yes, maybe even sexually. Okay. You have mandrake here. All right. Could have put you in a hanged man position. I say that because technically, if you look into the old lore around mandrake, you can only collect them at the gallows. Also, their shrieks, their screams can be fatal. So they would often attach like a tether, to a dog and move far away so they couldn't hear, and have the dog pull the mandrake root up, right? Yeah. And that's coming in with Neptunian energy and Venusian energy there, all right? Again, your energy, Pisces, Libra energy here. Okay. So this could be like too enmeshed with somebody as well through intimacy, where it kind of created like a, almost like a pox of like a hanged man type of state, sort of just feeling like you're in suspended animation and something couldn't move forward. But it can now, okay? It can now. What's here? I like this, see? And again, the breakthrough energy with the tower, it brings a cleansing and it brings the cauldron of Dagda, okay? So there is a way to have healing here. And oh, wow, it says journey. So yeah, you got a journey that's opening for you here, but it does come through, you know, kind of an unexpected event. And it's also coming in with big Lilith energy. So I do feel like there's part of you that at first you may feel like you're exiled here. At first you may have to be sort of like the bad guy, you know, you might have to take on the villain archetype. This may have to be your villain era initially, all right, with what rolls out here. But I see you get to the other side. There's a transformation that happens here. Or you could be villainizing another. It's possible. You could be villainizing another. This could be a mirroring energy. But I see in your situation, the vision becomes clear. There's transformation here. There's a new understanding that's seen. Once you recover this repressed memory, there's something here that opens your vision, opens your sight. I feel like your psychic sight, your conscious understanding in a new way. And it achieves that point of alchemy where now healing is possible. And there's also, you know, this cauldron of Dagda. And that's interesting because you had Yarrow, right, associated with the memory, and it was coming in with the water and the fire, and what was behind the fire there, and the imagery was kindling. And here, now you can get cooking. Now you got the cauldron, okay? Now you have the crucible, the journey to healing. You have something that can actually hold the waters. You have something that can hold the nourishment, that can hold space for the feelings and for that beauty, that blessing that wants to pour in here. Okay, good energy, pretty potent, Taurus, all right? Let's see here. Coming in at 1:22:02 with Virgo. I forgot to do that last time. I need to call out those timestamps. Makes things a lot easier. I think I still need to do timestamps on the one I brought in last night. In fact, I'm pretty sure I do. All right, well, I'll have to get to that. All right, Virgo, let's see what's coming in for you here with this download. What does Virgo need to do? Know, understand, focus on, have highlighted for them in this particular cycle, Spirit. Virgo, also Pisces rising. Okay. What does Virgo need to know and understand at this time? What's coming through for this energy introducing itself over the next 72 hours and playing out over these next 3 full moons for Virgo? Okay, basis of the matter. I like this. So, Dreamweaver. I love this because Virgo's in the South Node right now, okay? And so there's this energy here of Pluto, front and center. And it's like you're having a different relationship to the dark. I think that you're moving into a new perspective. Instead of fearing the darkness or the unknown, you've started to embrace it more as a point of potentiality. It's a point of rest. It's a point of gestation. It's a point of possibility, integration. It's the place of becoming. And there's something you're weaving into being here. It's coming in with the number 20, which is judgment. All right. So there's some wise judgment you're executing here as far as navigating your way through a situation where you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. You're not really sure what's up ahead, but you're not moving through it in the same way that you may have moved through similar experiences in the past. In other words, you have more a sense of inner assuredness that I can navigate this no matter what's ahead of me. And you're also using it more as sort of like a creative incubation space. And you feel a sense of feeling quite relaxed around it too, with lavender coming in. And you might want to work with lavender a bit just to keep you in that nice sort of relaxed, harmonious space as you continue to sort of navigate this unknown territory that you're stepping into. You might also want to make yourself or get your hands on a little lavender dream pillow, something you can use that can help you relax and sink more deeply into the dream time space, because I feel like there's a lot of musing energy or important information for spiritual integration that's coming through in your dreams. You might also want to keep a dream journal by your bed, okay? I do feel like there is some creativity that's coming through here that you're working with. It's like you're dreaming the way into being. You're having a different perspective here. It's like, yeah, I have no idea what's up ahead, which means like anything is possible. So if anything's possible, why don't I just like mock up the most amazing, fun, incredible, adventurous, beautiful, joy-filled reality tunnel I can. And some of you are working on some kind of creative project here, maybe making some music, okay? It's like the muse is really being activated in you. And you're being a bit of a dream weaver right now. Now, there was a download that came in, and it was called Dream Weaver. And I don't remember what sign it was from. But you also may be feeling like maybe you're picking up others' energies in your dreams too. Maybe you feel like there's sort of like a little bit of spiritual work that's going on in dream time, as far as like integrating past experiences, getting different perspectives in your situation about the players involved. You may even have some people here who are kind of like tapping into your dream space. Maybe that's how they're trying to reach out to you. Maybe you haven't been in communication. Maybe you kind of cut off access to your energy, but you're finding these people pop up in your dreams. I just feel like there's sort of like a dream-like quality that's taking over your reality here. This is sort of the space you're moving into. And yeah, you're moving through some dark territory. You're processing some things that maybe might be a little bit more shadowy in nature. But I don't see you really disturbed by this. I think you're working with the material creatively. And some of you, that's coming through very literal. Like there's some kind of creative project that's inspired by this healing work you're doing. But I do feel like you're getting a lot of downloads in your dreams, or when you're entering like journeying space, you know what I mean? When you're really like diving deep. Maybe you know how to journey, and maybe you work with that a little bit, shamanistic journeying, where you really like travel into the underworld and you get real rootsy with it, and you look for those sort of missing pieces and you call those pieces back to you. All right, I like that energy. I'll put up some different links here for you. I'll put a couple cards up for you, a little bit on journeying and how you can teach yourself how to do that. You might want to work with that a little bit. I'll also put the Dreamweaver download for you too, because I feel like it's significant. Okay, interesting. There also is an indication here, because I do see an armadillo behind you, where you do want to make sure that you sort of have a little bit of armoring on too, especially as you're doing this kind of work. Protect your dreams, protect what you are weaving into your reality now as well. Protect your creative projects, okay? Because I do feel like there's also that piece about there might be some old energies resurfacing Okay, and that might be how they're kind of getting access to you is through the dream space because you cut these energies off. Just be on the lookout for that. All right. Wow. Okay, that's a lot, Virgo. Okay, I'll kind of look at those all as one whole there. Yeah, I do think that you dealt with like a major tower in your life here. It's something that took a lot of strength for you to overcome. And it did kind of activate your nervous system here. And there was something that you saw in the details of a situation that you didn't see before. And it could have potentially involved a Pisces or something that was your blind spot or somebody that you thought was your friend or somebody that was on your side and you actually discovered there was another side to them that you'd never encountered before. And then you've sort of had certain things resurfacing for you. It's like you're connecting dots, you know, you're thinking back like, oh, that little detail there, that little detail there, it all makes sense now. And it's part of your healing though. Like it's part of you sort of dissecting something and being able to understand it in a new way that's allowing you to integrate the experience. I do feel like whatever this is, you've been able to come to a place of acceptance with it and release. You had the strength to overcome something that was really challenging in the past. It could have been in relation to a Leo energy coming in pretty strongly here. Also Pisces energy. And it looks like it's something that came in through a tower. It might have rocked your root. You know what I'm saying? It might have made you feel really like a little destabilized because this could have been somebody that felt like family to you, or you might go way back with this person. Something about this, it like rocked your foundation a little bit. But at the same time, it also opened up your heart. Okay. It might have really challenged you because you recognize the only way you could really heal something for yourself and keep your heart open was to just enter this space of radical acceptance with it. I mean, I think you let go, you released, and you had to just come to this really deeply, intensely accepting place of what may seem really unacceptable. Okay, you didn't fight it. Also, you may have been doing a lot of this sort of healing work in the dream space that's coming through too, or this will pick up for you. And I do feel like there's something that's majorly about to shift in your intuition. Again, there could be a Leo connected to this situation with the moon energy coming in. There could be a Pisces, there could be a Cancer connected to this situation. This is also something likely that will happen really soon for you. I feel like it will happen within this current lunar cycle leading up to the Libra full moon. There's going to be some balancing point here that activates your intuition, and where you felt a little parched or you needed some kind of reprieve. You needed to have something sort of pour through you, fill you up, give you a little nurturing for the way ahead, and make it feel like, okay, I can now really get to the other side of this. There's some new beginning coming in here for you that gives you fulfillment in your heart. It's also activating your intuition in a brand new way, right? Brand new way. Some of you are going to notice that you are really able to pick up others' feelings more easily. You might really notice that you have a tendency to take on the emotions of others. So this might be really learning how to ensure that you're kind of keeping your energy running clean by having good boundaries, okay? I also feel like this is the need to remember that you're a conduit, right? We're mostly water. Water is a conduit here, okay? So there is something here about not letting things be stagnant, but just kind of let your feelings continue to flow too. I'm thinking in terms of these insights that come through as well. Don't get sort of gridlocked in what comes up, what you think about when your memories resurface and so forth.
This is about just letting it be, sort of like a leaf floating on a stream. Just let it kind of pass by. Learn how to enter more into the flow. And I think you're entering that waterway too, where you're finding a balance here. The inner and outer realities are coming into alignment, okay? And so this is opening up a new way forward for you where you're really just trusting how you're being led in relation to what feels right in your heart, what feels right energetically. You're trusting your intuition here. And it's bringing a change in your life. What is this change? Wow, look at this. Radiance. We also have the rainbow energy coming in for you too. It's coming in like a rainbow bridge, and this is the hunt. So you're going through some shape shifting here. You're taking on new forms. You're transforming. You're leaving your fears behind, and you're heading straight for that stone of destiny. And there's something here. Look at this. Look at this little hut on fire back here. It's like you're burning the house down. You're burning the house down. Something is going through major transformation here. Burning the house down. I don't know why. It's giving me like Hansel and Gretel vibes. It's like maybe in the past you would have been really prone to sort of follow a particular trail, to be intrigued, to sort of poke into areas that are just better left undisturbed here. If you were dealing with a particularly witchy character here who was trying to entice you and draw you in, but maybe actually had more destructive designs than they did any kind of benevolent influence in your life, I think that their intentions are like being burned down to the ground. I also think of the story of Baba Yaga, and Baba Yaga is that witchy character in the tale of Hansel and Gretel. And her energy is very misunderstood. She's very wild. She's very free. She's a recluse. She often is found beyond the hedge. And the hedge in ancient times is what separated the village from like the wild places. And because of being misunderstood for her gifts, her abilities, because Baba Yaga works with herbal medicine a lot, works with the elements of the earth, and brings about healing. That's what these witches did. They've worked with the elements to bring about healing. They may sing a song over you. They may lay hands on you. They may give you an herbal remedy, things along these lines. Because it's something that's not understood, it can be demonized in some cases. And so there also could be a part of you maybe that is a little different from other people. And maybe you've always been aware of certain gifts that you possess. Perhaps you do have certain abilities, certain intuition, certain magical prowess, like you're a natural. You're a natural wizard. It was just born in you. There's something here about coming into the full like radiance, the full embodiment of the wisdom of your roots and your magical lineage. And at the same time, as you kind of go down this path, that is your path of alignment. And interesting that we also got the Cauldron of Dagda here too. It's something that brings you healing, but it's also part of your destiny to go through this transformation, to let the more wild, free parts of yourself that you've kind of kept under wraps be seen. And maybe you've kept them under wraps because you've been a little bit afraid of being judged. Maybe you thought, people come after you with torches and pitchforks, and maybe you dealt with something like that. You might have been labeled to be like that evil witch in the woods. For some of you, you've been really misunderstood. There's been a lot of judgment cast on you because you walk a different path here. And I think you're just starting to really embrace the truth of your path. It's like your essence of who you are. It's a moment where you're stepping into your power. And I also think there's a piece of this, like those stories that maybe had been cast around you, they're being burned away. They're being reduced to ash. Anything that was sort of projected on you that wasn't true is going through a transformation, because something about a transformation you're going through, it's witnessed, it's seen, it's something that can't be denied. Whatever this is, it's aligning you with your destiny. It's ending a time of a real destructive cycle in your life where maybe it did have something to do with burning a particular house down, you know? You moved out of one situation into another. You left behind your home, you know? You decided to go out into the world and find your way and are off on another grand adventure, okay? There is some alignment coming in here. Whatever it is, it brings healing. And I do see where there was some house of lies, and this could be even something that, you know, was sort of like a house of cards that was erected behind you. You know, a card's being pulled and that house of cards is coming toppling down. Either way, there is something to toast here. There is something to celebrate here. You're going through a major transformation. Leaving fears behind. Some message coming in will set you down this track, okay? What we got here? I'm going to look real quick because you had so much come out here. You have Coca, foresight, okay? So this is about having energy for the road ahead. It's also about practicing impeccable integrity as you move into unknown territory. We got passion flower here as you move forward. Just give yourself over to the process. Let go to the waterway, all right? This will come in with the Libra full moon, and definitely working with that dream time energy. Allow this new intuition, this new insight, understanding to pour through you. Whatever this is, look at this. I feel like it's also pouring through another that's connected to you. And it's part of what's bringing you into harmony with the beloved. But first, it's like coming to that place of harmony of the beloved within you, you know? The places inside of you that once felt divided are now becoming united. And with this Raven medicine here, your magic is being activated, but I also feel like it's bringing you into alignment with your beloved. Loving energy. Libra energy, justice. This is when you're transforming the shadow of the time in Pluto into the Venusian energy. You'll shine like the morning star. I love this. There's like these beautiful angel wings behind the raven there, okay? So there is something being transformed here with Damiana. Yes, and you're recovering your magic. Look at that. Look at that wizard energy there. That the magician. You're remembering your magic. And your magic is going to be what turns the wheel here, right? So yes, there's some power that's being put in your hands here. It looks like a spear of Lu. It comes through a very unexpected experience here. It's like an unexpected awakening moment that gets the world to turn. This is like a date with destiny. There's somebody you're coming into alignment with here. And it brings a revival of something from the past. But it's through breaking chains of limitation that have held you back. And in some cases, this is something related to the DNA, okay? So it could be something generationally that you're overcoming here. You transformed something that has held back your bloodline. Got great spirit here with the eagle. And again, it's you really moving into a place of action. So you may have felt like things were kind of held up for a while here, where you've just been sort of going with the flow and, taking it easy and not feeling so pressed, so stressed as you have in the past, sort of just accepting that, okay, nothing much is really happening right now. But I am doing a lot of healing. I am doing a lot of integrating. And something is really coming in to activate a major change here. And it could have relation to something from the past. We have Leo energy here. We have Aries energy, Libra energy, Cancerian energy, your energy, real strong here. And with this, yeah, see, we have shape shifting. Again, Cancerian energy. So something shape shifting around the home base. Okay. It's interesting. Like that house is burning, burning down the house. Talking Heads, that song. I think there's a message there for you. All right. We'll have to link that for you too. Burning down the house. And this could be something foundational that you're realizing, like, no, that needs to be transformed. Like, the way that I saw things because of the way I was raised or the way things were in my childhood home aren't necessarily the way things need to be for me now, or who I was back then is not who I am now. All right. There's a big like transformation happening here. You're detaching. You're detaching from an old story, an old reality, an old time in your life. I feel like you've really integrated those lessons. And now you're like dreaming up a new reality for yourself. It's like you really overcame an old cycle and you're ready to move up into that North Node energy, I feel. But you're mastering the hunt right now. So you're going through a shape shifting process. And you may have a particular witch, on your tail. It feels like you owe them something, right? But ultimately, this process that you're going through here with whatever's hot on your tail, you're outlasting it. And you're going through sort of like a rebirthing process here into a brand new reality. And I feel like this is major identity shift. Like you're not going to emerge the same person through this cycle. A lot of dream time with dragonfly medicine there. So just be on the lookout for that, okay? Cut of the deck. What do we got? Yes, all you have to do is let go with the flow. With Cassandra here, okay? It's coming in with the number 29. Again, 11 energy. So you start out on your own, but you really have your path come into alignment with another's in a very big way. We got Capricorn energy here, Sagittarian energy, Piscean energy, also Libra, again, really strong, Taurus energy too. And something is balanced out here, very much like temperance, okay? So there's even hints of Sagittarius here, but I feel like whatever this is, it does get that wheel of fortune turning. You see things in a brand new way. You don't have to fight to make it happen. It's more for you just a complete acceptance, letting yourself sort of be in this unknown space where the new future is coming into being and just giving yourself over to the flow of that and trusting where you're being led, right? It's really beautiful. Something higher has the wheel here, and you're practicing wise judgment by letting it do so with wisdom coming in here with the number 37. So yes, again, it's like you're obtaining something akin to the last unicorn. It's like some last little bit of magic that's running wild and free in the world out there. You're taking it for a ride, and it's teaching you those same lessons about how to be wild and free within yourself. It's really beautiful. And the closing of one cycle, the opening of another. Major like change in your trajectory here. It's like Wheel of Fortune energy coming through for you, Virgo. And somebody you're coming into alignment with here, right? So it's like you're coming into alignment with the beloved. But first, it's sort of like you're arriving at that place within yourself. It's like you're loving yourself whole, and that's allowing you to come together with another who will mirror that in you. And whoever this person is, they're also going through a similar process, I feel. Okay. All right. One more here, Capricorn. Man, you all are taking up a lot of time here. I thought the download was long for the fire signs that came in. Really long for you all. Okay, Capricorn coming in at 149.55. Let's see what's coming in for you this cycle, Capricorn. What is coming in this cycle for you, Capricorn? What is Capricorn or Cancer rising need to know and understand at this time, Spirit? Please give us guidance for Capricorn, Cancer rising, and how this energy is playing out for them. What is coming in for Capricorn, Cancer rising here? You're in a place of acceptance too. So yeah, I think that you've already had some kind of major disruption, some kind of awakening moment, some kind of realization of what needs to transform or change so you can step onto a path of heart. I feel like right now you're focusing on how you can put a real strong foundation in place for what's coming in for you in the future. I do feel like you're stepping into a place of not only alignment, but really stepping into your power. It is requiring you to really pay attention to the details, though, as you're taking these next steps, what you're putting in place. Some of you are also really focusing on healing at this time. You might be focusing on more of a kind of like natural approach to healing as well. Okay. I see you working with some different natural methods here. You might be taking some tinctures. You might be, cultivating your own herbs, and you might be making different kind of medicines for you to come into a place of alignment. Interesting. Also, Valerian. Valerian is related to Valium, Mother's Little Helper. Okay. So there might be like some piece of that coming in for you too. Something in relation to the past. Mother's Little Helper. There was the big family piece that came through there, right? So there may be a mother that's leaning on you for support, right? You might be helping somebody out here who's going to be having a baby. That's possible too. Right? You may be becoming a mother, okay, and you're taking a natural approach, and you're coming into alignment with somebody who can help you, support you. You're doing some kind of work in relation to this, right? This may be the earth sign that is really getting into doing some of that midwifery work, okay, doula work here. Womb healing might be coming through. Womb healing coming through, especially in relation to a love relationship, okay, where you might be sort of integrating some experiences here. Ooh, I think so, okay. We have Rose here. Number 12, okay, so some karmic connection that you had that reached its ending point. I do feel like though there has been an ending there, there's been a lot of growth as a result of this connection that got closed out. And now that this has been released and you've been able to really come into a place of understanding the kind of transformation you're ready to experience in love. I feel like there is a certain Cupid's arrow that's about to pierce your heart here. There's some kind of message that's coming in. And this may be something that does reach a culmination point with the full moon in Libra that's coming in. Look for a special message of love to come in at that time with the rose here. Also, you might specifically want to work with rose. Rose is very anti-inflammatory. So if you have been doing more kind of healing, working with different herbal preparations, you might want to bring rose in. Rose is very cooling for the emotions. It also has like a softening, sort of silky effect. It allows one to open up the heart space. And it can help reduce inflammation. So you might have some inflammation in your body as well that would benefit from being cleared out here. But I do feel like there's something here that is finally being released in relation to an old connection, okay? A connection that was severed, something that was cut off, okay? It was time. I do feel it was time that came to a close. And I do see that soon you're going to be moving forward in a brand new way. There's a lot coming through for you in relation to sort of like cleansing away the bad blood, cleansing the old creative cycle. See, you're leaving the shadow self to rest here. And that doesn't mean that you're ditching that part of yourself or you're cutting off that part of yourself. Like, no, I don't have a shadow. No, it's more that you're entering the exaltation phase of the shadow, which is natural. Okay. It's like Ishtar may journey into the underworld to shed the 7 veils of illusion, to release the outer adornments that separate her from seeing the naked truth of who she is. But ultimately, once she's gone through that transformation, she's integrated the truth. She rises into her exalted form as a Nana, Queen of the Heavens. And I feel like this is that energy. It's like you're allowing the shadow to rest. You're allowing the shadow to have its place. It informed you, but you spend enough time there. You have shed that old cycle. Now it's time to step into a new creative cycle. And with this, we have this like green Tara energy coming forward, this beautiful Dakini energy. And green Tara, she always has the right foot forward. Why? Because she's not in that dream time space anymore. It's very interesting where Virgo was more in a dream time space. You're in the space of like, no, it's time to actually enact the transformation. So that's what I see. You've already reached the point of integration. And for you, it was probably brought on through the severing of a major relationship. For some of you, that was a love relationship. But now you're going through a major transformation. And you're about to take action here to step out of the shadow and to step forward into a new creative cycle in your life. And there's some mask here that you are no longer wearing. It's like a false identity has been shed. And this is what's moving you forward into a time of initiation here with cacao. And what are you being initiated into? You're being initiated into the house of love. Look at the exaltation of the heart. Your heart is going through a transformation. You're living true to yourself now. You're not wearing any masks anymore. You're open, you're unguarded, you're letting yourself be seen. It's like the seed of potential has been cracked open to reveal the richness inside. And it brings you joy. This is very unexpected. And it is a gift of Venus. And connected to this, we have a guide coming in. I feel like this is a guide, a spiritual guide that you're connecting with that's opening you up to this love. It's something that's coming in that's breaking your heart open. Ooh. But you're definitely taking action here, okay? There's some new creative cycle you're setting in motion, and it's informed by your heart. It's a big initiation for you. And perhaps it's a big initiation in you being true to your heart, really respecting what your heart seeks for its fulfillment here. Oh man, I love it. Now that matches with Virgo. You also got this, okay? Blue Lotus, intuition, you're entering the waterway. So see, it's bringing the solar lunar essences into a place of balance, and you're entering that dynamic flow. You're giving yourself over, and there is some gift here. It's bringing a new beginning into the heart space, pouring something into you. I feel like it's something you're putting in motion, like a vision you have close to your heart, a dream you have close to your heart, like something you're wanting to create here. But in order for you to create this, it requires that you step out of the shadows, you step into the light, you stop hiding behind a mask, and you let people see this part of you, okay? And it could be, that you are coming into alignment with another here. You have sun moon synergy, right? Completion. Ooh, completion. You completed an initiation. And so you're about to receive a gift. Look at that. Sea goat. There you are. There is a brand new cycle opening up for you here because you've completed an initiation. You've been initiated into the house of love. Wow. You're going to get clarity about this with the clear quartz there. That the bones of a matter have been settled. And now there's some kind of victory here. It's opening the road to a brand new beginning. Major change in store for you. Big transformation in your life. And it's because you learned a very powerful lesson in love about acceptance. And it's because of that, I do feel like something's coming in here. Cupid's got an arrow to pierce your heart. It might come through a message that brings an opportunity to open your heart to love again. I feel like you're going to take it. Anything else that wants to come in here for Capricorn? I also pick up a creative project. That yes, it's time for you to move forward on it. Interesting. Interesting. We have wisdom in reverse here. Came out. Oh, that's wild. And with that, we have commune coming in with the number 13 here. It's 49, but it breaks down to 13. So, I see. You recognize what was holding you back was sort of like the people that you were keeping in your inner circle here. There's something you needed to change. You recognize that there were certain people you were associating with. It looks like kind of a group dynamic that weren't allowing you to really bring your gifts forward, or they didn't want you to shine. There's some situation you were dealing with. It could have been within a friendship circle, a work situation. It could have been within a family dynamic. But in some way, you were in a position where there could only be peace and harmony if you stayed in the shadows. And so I think you did play that role for a while where it's like, okay, I can take the back seat, or you can put me on the back burner, or I'll just hang out backstage here. But you needed to transform that. You needed to cut off certain connections because they weren't allowing you to be seen in your own right for the wisdom you have to share, for the gifts you have to offer. So this is about you creating an ending in a particular community, where your role in that community required you to play second fiddle or to dim your light down. And you came to an acceptance of this. So we come back around to the beginning. You came to an acceptance of this, that you weren't with the same people that were going to be there with you when you get to the place of your destiny. You may have thought certain people were coming along for the ride, and you realize, no, this is actually out of harmony for me. This is not wise. It's not wise for me to continue to align myself with these people, to work with these people, because they're holding me back. And you call judgment on this situation. I see it. There could have been a Scorpio involved in that situation. There could have been an Aries connected to that situation. I think it's something that affected you personally. It's almost like what you had to offer wasn't being valued or wasn't being appreciated here. And at one time, that is something that really held you back. You know, you went ahead and you made yourself smaller. You dimmed your light down. But you finally had the strength to overcome this because you saw it. It was like in the little details. It was in the little slights. It was in the little ways that you were put down, you know, the little ways that you were never allowed to sort of like take your place and really be seen for who you are and what you have to offer. And yet it could have even been that way in relationships too, romantic relationships. That could have been your love story. Maybe you always wanted that, you know, that one great love, and you felt like you were always in situations where, oh, I have to share your romantic affection with other people, okay? And you might have told yourself at one point, well, you know, I can make this work, but really, like, there's something much deeper, much richer you're hungering for here. You want a more depth of connection. I do feel like that's coming through for you. But it has something to do with like cutting yourself off from the wrong group of people here that don't want to see that for you. And maybe try to silence your voice. I'm getting that, right? That's coming through. Let me do a cut of the deck here. So this is why, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Capricorn. Someone is trying to like shut you down on this level. They're trying to shut down your voice. They're trying to get in between you and your purpose. It's somebody in like, oh my gosh, Ted's affirming that. It's somebody that you are like connected to in a community that needs to come to an end. Currently, we have wisdom in reverse. So I feel like it's almost like a situation where like you keep entertaining it and you shouldn't. You need to have this foresight. It's important because look, it's almost like the same energy. There's that green Tara energy there. See, she hasn't taken action yet. There's some truth she needs to recover here. She's pulling up the truth out of the soil here. It's got roots, okay? There might be something that's become a little bit entangled with you here that you need to cut off. It could be affecting you at a root level. It could be affecting your roots. It could be affecting your stability. It could be affecting your security. It could be affecting your sense of belonging. It could be affecting a body of wisdom, knowledge that you hold, that is your roots. And I mean, I have to say, perhaps your magical roots here with that unicorn in reverse. You got the last unicorn energy too. But there's something you're missing here that's getting in between you and activating that. And it's somebody that you're connected with here. You need to get some awareness around this. I feel like there's a truth coming in that will make you realize you need to break free and kind of go your own way in this situation. It will come very unexpected to you. And I do feel like it will be illuminated with that full moon in Libra. Could be a Virgo connection involved. But I feel like this is really about you understanding that it's wise for you to sort of like go your own way in a situation where there's too much group involvement here. And these people aren't necessarily in support of you stepping into your life. On the other side here, yep, we got rebirth with the ayahuasca here, okay? So, yeah, you got one final challenge here. It is a shadow matter. There's a lot of illusion around this situation. But once you make it through this last leg of your initiation, there's Jaguar medicine hanging out there. I feel like you need to do some kind of journeying here. There's something that you need to retrieve. It's in your roots. All right. So if you're somebody who does spiritual work here, you need to do some journeying work here. You need to go and transform something that's kind of infiltrated the roots here. And you got impeccable integrity on your side, and you also got a guardian here in Jaguar medicine. So do connect with Jaguar Totem. Do some research on that. It is about having the courage to face what's hidden in the dark here. There's something there that needs transformation. And I even see a hint here. It's off in the distance of the cauldron of Dagda for you. But first, there's something here that you're still allowing to have connection with you that is sort of spoiling the pot. That's what I got. And you need to pull up this issue by the root in order to resolve it, which might require you to do like some journeying work here. Okay. To affect the change that you want to see. Once you do that, you successfully complete your initiation. So this is what you're in process of right now. I feel like you're already in an initiatory process and you're getting to the point of completion, but there's one final thing you need to attend to here. And it's in relation to this. It looks like somebody you need to cut off, or a group of people you need to cut off that you're a little too closely knit to and have some way affected you, like at a root level here, or they're impacting you negatively at the root. So something that has to do with your security, your stability, your sense of belonging, could be in relation to the home, could be a family matter here, okay? And once you have this knowledge, then you can cut this off. And I do feel like there's somebody you're cutting off here. And that's what signals your rebirth here. There's like an illusion you need to cut through here. It's something that's shadow projected. And it brings the birth of the new potential. It's the rebirth, start of a brand new cycle here for you. So interesting. I think the only thing that might be difficult is, you're going to have to come to a place of acceptance with this. There's like a truth you're going to see here. It's hard to see, but once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you have to act on it. That's what I feel here. But whatever it is, it's one of those things where whatever is cut off here, and it looks like it's a karmic connection, something beautiful grows through that allows you really, truly to sort of like drop a facade, drop an old identity, step into the true potential of who you are. It gives you some gift of personal fulfillment. And it looks like the arrows of love. The arrows of love. It brings you a new beginning in your heart space here. And it also allows you to rise and shine. So there might be something that you're branching out to do here on your own, where you're really representing a part of you that wants to be seen, wants to be heard, but it's being sort of like cloaked here by others who don't want you to step in this space. Yeah, I think you're going to call judgment on this though, and the outcome, it looks really beautiful. But yeah, wow, powerful initiation you're going through here. All out transformation for you during this cycle. It's going to be very powerful. And I feel like what's really transforming here is you're sort of like ditching everything that's been put on you about who you are, how you're allowed to show up, and your ability to really be seen and heard, and recognized for the beauty that's you, for the gifts you hold, for the wisdom you hold, for the magic you hold. And there's something here where you're finally cutting off what's held that expression back, and you're fully stepping into it. And there's something you're taking action with here, though. So brand new beginning here. And I don't know, I feel like it's an action you're taking to pour your heart into something you personally love. But along the way, I feel like you're partnering with somebody here too. It does look like the arrows of love come in through a message. All right, this is beautiful, beautiful energy. All right, this is what I got for you. It's like a lot of healing happening here. A lot of healing happening for the earth signs, challenging situations, but a lot of healing. Godspeed.